Hey everybody, welcome back to Wednesday in the Woods with Konchak Outdoor Adventures. Here with the man of the hour, Chase Konchak, is gonna go do some fishing with us. So we're gonna just hit the backyard a little bit and show you how to fish the streams and the little creeks behind the house. So if you've never done that before, come on back there with us and we'll show you how it's done. Also have special guest. Mom decided to come along with us today, so you guys get to watch Heidi pulling some bunkers.
Dad, what are you doing? Let's go.
Huh?
Let's go. It's time to go fishing.
I'm going to my special spot. See you later. All right, here I am with my two knuckleheads here, and we're going to show you our secret spot and how to fish it, okay? So for all of you that are interested in having some, first thing you need, and this is really important, especially for dads. Kids, you guys are exempt, so you don't have to worry about this right now. But for those of you fathers that are going to be out there, in the event that you have a pole in your hand, or moms, because moms like to fish too, you got to make sure that you get your fishing license, all right? This is a combo of fishing license and hunting license, so it just kind of proves that we're legal in what it is that we're doing here. So, but we're going to talk a little bit today about fishing, and wanted to start off by saying you got to fish the hatch, all right? Like, if you're taking a look at that, that means what kind of bait are you using to be successful catching fish? All right, so would I use something like this out here?
No,
Why wouldn't I use a bait like this?
because it's too big.
It's too big. All right, so we wouldn't expect a big lunker to be here in our creek. We would expect some smaller fish. So for you guys that have never fished before, we're going to show you exactly what we use to catch some of these smaller fish. So Blake's going to kind of demonstrate. He's going to talk a little bit about what he's got. So what do you got? What do you got on your rod right now?
All right, I can't believe I'm telling you all this, but I have this little soft plastic bait here. It's got a little jig head, and this setup right here is called a trout magnet. You can pretty much buy them at Cabela. I think they only sell them at Cabela's. They might sell them at Walmart, but yeah, it just comes with a little weighted jig head and a little plastic, and you put it on. And yeah, here's a way to put it on. It's not like a J hook, so you're gonna pretty much just put it in the middle there. Slide it up all the way on. Keep sliding until you get to this little fork in the tail. Then you want to go through. Hook through, and then it should be fairly straight, and then both of these can fork out and move in the water and attract the fish.
Does it matter if it's not on properly?
If it's not on properly, the fish aren't usually going to bite it. Here they might, but if you have a setup that's just stocked with fish, it might work, but usually it won't.
So because the way you have it set up on the hook makes a difference in how it swims?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. So obviously this is a lot bigger of a bait, this little purple worm, this glittery purple worm that we've got here. Obviously the hook is real big too. When you see the kind of fish that we catch out of here, you'll understand why we don't use a big bait like this. Okay, so what I wanted to do is here, if you hold that for me for a second. What I want to do, I got Chase here with me, and let's just pretend that I'm rigging him up right now. Now, what we're using for him is a little bit bigger than a trout magnet. This is called a grub. It's a weighted grub. And it's just a little white rubber worm on the end of a small hook, and as you can see, it's got a little bit of weight there so that it can sink to the bottom. So for you that have never tied a hook on before, I'm going to help you real quick. All you do is you put the line there through the eye. That's what we call the eye of the hook. All right, and then you bring it up, and then you're holding it with kind of 3 fingers right there, as you can see I'm doing. And then all you do is twist it. And I twist it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For me, the magic number 6, so that's what I like to do for these little guys right here. And then you bring that line, that tag in, and you put it right back through that hole there, closest to the weight head. And then you bring that tag end again, and you put it through that top loop. And we call this a fisherman's knot. And then all you do is you just cinch it up. Now I like to wet it a little bit. That helps it to be nice and lubricated so it slides down the way it's supposed to. All right, and then I've got my nifty little clippers here, and I like to cut that line, that excess line, to right about there. All right, and there you have it. That's just an easy way to put on a little bait that can help us catch fish in the creek. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have some catches back here. But I got to tell you, fishing's been slow. So let's see what happens.
This is right.
That's perfect. You got it. That's it. You always want to
How
find.
do you fish with it?
So you always want to look for.
The fishing for this kind of fish.
You always want to look for a like a tree or some kind of debris underwater that fish might hide behind.
Upstream, downstream.
You always want to fish the bait so that you're bringing it downstream, because it would look kind of weird for a bait to be swimming upstream like that. So usually what I do is I'm always just
How fast?
bringing it toward me nice and slow, and make sure it gets low to the bottom, because you don't want it just skimming across the top
Or getting caught on a...
or getting caught, yeah, like that. And that's gonna happen, but that's okay. So just cast it a little. You're looking for little deep spots and around trees and stuff. And let's try another spot. So one of the things that I wanted to show you all was today we didn't have any luck in this creek. And that doesn't mean that we won't have any luck in this creek ever. It just means today we didn't. And a lot of times that can have to do with a couple different variables. One is the color. If you can see the creek right now, it's really running red or brownish. And obviously you want to use a bait that's lighter so the fish can see it. But between the color of the water and the speed of the water, it's moving through pretty quick. Last night we got a rain. It dirties it up, and so we didn't have any success today. But that doesn't mean that you won't have success ever in the same body of water. Sometimes you could come, not catch anything. The next time you could come and you catch 30 fish. So it just depends on what the water's doing on that particular day. So we're gonna go try another spot, and we really like this next spot. There's some big fish in here. Okay, we're on our way to our favorite lake spot. This is behind the neighborhood where we live. So come on, let's go. So Heidi and I are at our favorite lake spot, as you can see. And I'm fishing with a crawfish. It's a little bit darker than the water we're in right now. But I don't know if you noticed anything different about my fishing pole. I lost my tip on that amazing ATV ride we just did. Note to self, when you're riding with your fishing pole or walking through the woods or anything, you always want your tip pointing backwards. So we're going to get to fishing and see what we can do in the last light with a broken rod. No sooner did we start in this other spot than that I get thumped by a nice bass. There you go. So, nice,
Kind of
healthy
fish is that?
largemouth. Healthy largemouth. And he was hungry too. So, I told you we were going to catch something.